Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. I'm James and you're watching Blue Dog Aquatics. All right, today what we're doing, and I know it's been a long road here. So right now we're right next to my pond. You can see that a lot of the liner is exposed, and I'll flip the camera here in a minute so you can see. When it comes to building your own pond, this was, I've done, the Rubbermaid toads and makeshift ponds, and it's been successful. And so I thought to myself, let's go bigger, let's go badder, let's build a big pond. So the pond we have here is 34 feet long, 8 feet wide. And as you can see, from this video and from the videos that we've done before on this pond, it seemed like it was going good, up until we had issues. Now the issues were and we were gonna make decking to make a nice little overhang, but the issues ran from us burning up brand new pumps for no reason other than they were defective, the skimmer not cooperating, blowing irrigation line, which was just insanity. We bumped all the way up to a 10,000 gallon pond pump, but then we thought we had it figured out. But then we noticed that the water level was dropping. And you see where it's at now? Yep, that's my dogs, they're going nuts. It kept dropping and we couldn't figure out why. So we removed all this rock, which if you remember from the videos, we're not talking about like a couple 100 pounds. We're talking thousands and thousands of pounds of rock. I think we were at 8 or 9 tons of rock that we had. We didn't have to remove all of it. We removed this middle section because there's a seam there, there's a seam there, and there's a seam up there in the secondary channel. And we're like, okay, we must have blown a seam. So we fixed this one like 3 or 4 times. It's literally the pond from hell. And I'm like, screw it. We'll just concrete over it. We thought we were good. So filled it up, bam, leak again. So I'm like, screw it. We're gonna go through and fix every single seam along the way. Whether they need it or not, we're gonna fix them. So we cleaned off the section of this seam here. We re-hit it with pond liner, or not pond liner, but pond cement, or pond rubber, whichever one you want to call it. Got a nice good seal there. We did the same with this one up here. We did multiple coats on both of them. Well, this one was a little bit more tricky because it was actually under concrete. So we went along all the edges, and you can still see the foam. We went along all the edges, poured in the pond rubber, the pond cement, trying to break it. It ran, no joke, for I think it was 36 hours. And we're like, yes, we got it. And then lo and behold, water level drop. And I'm like, okay, I know evaporation due to, the sun and everything like that is going to cause you to lose a couple inches, but not a couple of feet. And it was causing my pumps to burn up because they kind of need water to run. And so I was like frustrated, and I'm like, I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what to do. Aside from starting over, we didn't know what to do. So what we did is we actually called our buddies. They're actually going to come out here. You won't see this video until next week. We have 2 videos lingering right now. This is going to be one of them because this is going to be next week's video, or for you, it's today's video. We just dropped one on what fish to buy today. And so make sure to check out that video as well. And while I'm at it, if you're enjoying this channel, please subscribe. I'd like to see our channel continue to grow and continue to build up, and we can't do that without you guys. Also check us out on Facebook and TikTok. Those have been growing like weeds. We try to keep you guys as much up to date with what's going on with us in the store and new animals. And trust me guys, we have a lot of new animals coming in, so make sure to check that out. We actually do have koi, specialty koi. They're going to be coming in for this pond when it's done. But I hired my buddy. I told him, I'm like, come in. I'm like, what do you recommend? And it came down to exactly what I was kind of fearing, but I was at that point. I'm like, you know, we have a pond from hell, and I give up. Time to call in the professionals. And sometimes, I mean, you have to do that. You know, it breaks my heart because we did put so many nights, especially my girlfriend. She was out here every day for almost a month, you know, putting the rocks in place, helping out with the plumbing, helping out with escapes, and sorry, that was my finger there. Doing everything. Yeah, you can see our big brush pile there. We finally got that cleared from up there. We actually had a neighbor who dropped a big tree, and we just finally got around to that. But yeah, so you can see we had the white mark, white spray paint around this. It's not for the new size of the pond. That we actually had to call in the city, which always do, to make sure that there were no underground wires or plumbing or gas lines or anything like that, which is actually funny because when we were digging it and put the magnolia tree in, there's actually an old pipe that runs right in front of it. But yeah, it's not on their records anymore. So that was just weird. But essentially, and as you guys remember, the big boulder, that is actually going to be moved up there. So what we're gonna do is he's gonna come in. It'd be day one for him, which would be tomorrow, which is on a Tuesday. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna dig up all of this. The concrete's gonna come out, all the liner's gonna come out. And so down here, we're gonna do, and I'll do a little bit of an introductory with him, with you guys here, a little bit in the video. That way you can see who he is and what his plans are, and then kind of the progress on how he's working everything. But so from the edge, you can see the edge of the irrigation right there, the black line. So from there straight out is gonna be about 8 foot, which is very close to what it is now. We're just gonna go deeper. So right now it's set up at about 3 foot deep, but we're actually gonna kick it to 4 feet deep. That way we can keep the koi in here year round. From the edge of the rock there over here is going to be 10 feet across and 4 feet deep. We were gonna do a makeshift kind of decking and everything. We used old school pallets. I was gonna do a whole DIY thing, which when this is all done, I still will, because I like to repurpose a lot of things, and people are like, well, those are gonna rot. And well, no, we're gonna do sealant protectant on them and all that, but I'm gonna have to start over. And then we're actually gonna open up the channel wider. It's gonna be a little bit deeper. There's gonna be a big waterfall. The way we actually intended it up here on the very top, and then it's gonna step all the way down the way actually we originally wanted it. They're not gonna mess with any of our plants or anything like that out here on the other side. Oh, look, it's flowering. But there is a lot of scaping and a lot of stuff that's going to go on. It is going to get widened, but it's still going to remain its same overall length. It might be a little bit longer at 36 to 38 feet, but these two white lines right here are where we're going to have to dig a hole over so that we can supply power, because we're actually going to do we're going to have lighting in here, which we need. Most of our lights out here are UV, or I'm sorry, they're solar, but we are going to have ones that are actually deep into the pond. And then we're going to have a dosing system for the pond, and then a couple other things. So make sure to stay to the end and see exactly what products we use. Sorry about my dogs, but yeah, without further ado, guys, we'll jump over and we'll meet the man that's doing this.
Hey, this is Zach with Zak's Pond and Property Service. Here today we got a 10 by 15 by 4 foot deep koi pond. Full aquascape system, underlayment, pond liner, underlayment going back over for rock protection. This is granite boulder in here. This depth's good enough for koi during the winter. Up over here, we got what's gonna be a 3-tier waterfall powered by a 400 biofalls. That's an aquascape product. We got full lighting kit in here, transformer, photocell. Everything will be good for this pond to withstand cold temperatures, hot days. We're gonna put an ion gen in here for algae, auto doser for dosing your chemicals. Everything in this pond is full up in this pond. We got lilies that are gonna go down here, some cattails going around top, probably get some iris, some creeping jenny, other good aquatic plants in here that help lower your nitrates, keep your pond nice and clean. Outside, we'll do some perennials, full rock going all the way up, and then do some grading around the outside to match the level of these existing rocks. No river rock around the outside. We'll tuck and fold this liner back underneath so everything's disguised. You won't see no plastic, no liner, no cords, nothing. Will all be disguised.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for 7 years. I got started, my brother got me into this when I was just a little kid. I've done fish tanks all my life. My mom and I installed 3 ponds in her yard, and then just kept going at it. Worked at a landscape company, decided, you know, that I want to go do this full time. This is a big passion of mine. So now I've been rocking it out with me and another guy and living the dream now.
Well, and I mean, it clearly shows. I mean, this thing is, I mean, honestly, like my pond, I mean, all right, you know, it was a pond from hell. And, you know, we said that earlier in the video that this one trumps it and then some. This pond could eat the other pond. I mean, I wish you guys could see it. Can you tell us the dimensions of this?
Yeah, it's a 10 feet going this way. We got about 15.5 feet from liner to liner. And then you got 4 feet of depth down here. So we got lights all down the bottom, around the perimeter. This pond at night will be illuminated, look good. Everything's powered. You got a nice skimmer right here. This, of course, will all get disguised. For your pump, will go in here. You have a basket to catch all your debris, so you don't have to worry about, you know, nothing settling in your pond.
Wow, and that's, you know what's crazy? I actually thought that was a real rock. I didn't realize.
They do a good job.
I didn't realize it was a fake rock.
Yep, that's a fake one. Yeah,
But
I like to kind of tuck some boulders in here to kind of disguise that intake bay, because you never want to look at it. Whenever you see plastic, liner, any cords, it just makes your pond kind of an eyesore.
Yeah.
So what we do is we try to make everything look as natural as possible, try to mimic nature. You guys will see later on how we do the waterfalls and how everything just kind of just flows. We'll get some driftwood in here, kind of give it a natural look, and kind of blend everything with some plants around the outside. Get some taller stuff.
Now you guys heard him. We're gonna do some driftwood, which, I mean, he's speaking our terms there, because I mean, between reptiles and aquatic, I mean, we're dabbling in both. We're actually, so obviously we got to have this huge pond cycle, and then we are going to be bringing in some specialty koi for this pond, and we're going to hook our buddy up here with some specialty koi. How many gallons do you think this is?
This should be roughly total water volume. You'll probably push in right around 6,000 gallons.
Okay.
I'll get a total measurement once we fill up of exactly how many gallons. But this is a great koi pond, great dimensions. With being 4 feet deep, you'll never have to worry about winter. Of course, you're still going to have your aerator and a de-icer in there.
Now, why are those important for koi?
So when your ice freezes over and your leaves and stuff are breaking down at the bottom, it creates a gas, and that replenishes the oxygen for your fish. So you want to keep that ice to thawed. And if you just keep a little bit to thawed with the aerator, your fish will survive. It doesn't need to be warm. Your koi can survive down in the, you know, high 30s. You know, as long as you're not, you know, an ice cube, they'll survive. So with your aerator and then a heater, that's kind of double dipping it, making sure that if one fails, the other one's going. So your koi will be able to get good size in here, survive every year, year after year. All your plants will come back. We only do perennial plants. I don't do anything that dies off. I like for you know, year after year, this pond just keeps getting better. You know, I don't want year 1 it's good, year 10 it's bad. By year 10, this pond will look nice, full, filled in. This liner is rated for 20 years if exposed to sun, so this liner should last forever.
So y'all heard him. We got this thing. I did want to point something out. So you see these big, huge boulders? How much weight would you say each one of them boulders are?
So something like this guy right here would probably weigh about 200 to 250 pounds, all lifted by hand. When we use moss rock, we like to use straps. Granite can be kind of difficult. We don't want that falling off the strap and damaging the liner. It's kind of why we take that extra precaution and put another geotextile underlayment under there. So you got on the bottom, the liner, and then on top. A lot of people don't do this, but it's just cheap security when it comes to longevity of your pond. If anything were ever to get in this pond that could possibly puncture it, it won't, because this liner is protected by all this geotextile. So this pond will last a long time. All these rocks are completely secured in, backfilled with rock as we do it in lifts. So there's probably about 2 tons of river rock in here right now.
And you guys can see it. I mean, these guys have been busting their butts. Sorry, my dogs are out so you can hear them. But as you guys can see, stay tuned. Make sure to drop a comment. Make sure to give these guys some love. Check them out. I'll make sure to include their information down in the description below. So if you want a pond and you want it, and I mean, trust me guys, I'm already getting psyched. I mean, seeing this thing all done, you know, it's gonna be better than, we're gonna go from a pond from hell to a pond of heaven. And that's exactly what this is turning into. So without further ado, we're gonna skip over to the next point. All right guys, day 3. They've done quite a bit of work. As you can see, it's starting to take shape. The main pond is pretty much done. We just have to do some landscaping around the outside. You can see the wiring here. That's actually because there's lights hidden around this. We did go ahead and bury the power, or the line to supply power. So, oh man, my yard is like a bomb went off. I mean, you got dirt pile here, rock pile there. That's from a whole other deal. That was from the tree that dropped last year, and it was all up there, and we cut these trees back and cleaned it all up and brought it down there, and then that was actually right here, but it looks like it got shoved that way, so that's gonna be fun to clean up. Anyway, back to this. So as you can see, I don't know, what do you guys think? Give me a thumbs up, drop a comment down below. Tell us what you think. I do love the natural look. So if you see, there's actually different pieces of actual driftwood, and I just think that's awesome to incorporate it. Quick trip cup. There's gonna be the big waterfall here, and then it actually slopes back, and that way more water actually builds up right there. So we can do like water lilies and stuff like that right here. But yeah, you guys don't even want to know what a pond like this runs. But we supplied all the rock and all that, so it's actually not terrible. He actually is hooking us up. This pond was actually supposed to be a fraction this size, but it is a lot bigger, and it'll be beneficial for the koi that are going to be going in here. But I'm just not looking forward to the water bill for all 6,000 gallons of this. I mean, this is a pool essentially. I mean, you could go swimming, but oh yeah, so check this out. Look at that piece. I mean, and the water's just going to be falling right over it, and I just think that's going to look so natural, and I am falling definitely in love. If you do think that this pond is starting to get redemption from the pond from hell to the pond to heaven, make sure to let us know. Also, while I'm on that, if you guys are enjoying this, we try to bring you as knowledgeable content and builds that we're doing and scapes that we're doing. So make sure to hit that subscribe, share this with all your friends and family. Like I said, if we get to 5,000 subscribers, I'll shave my head. And a lot of people don't know, I actually do have quite a bit of hair. So nobody ever sees it because I always wear a hat. But if you actually look at the back, it actually comes out. But yeah, 5,000 subscribers, I'll shave my head. And it's kind of daring because, you know, it's right before winter. So, well, I mean, we're like halfway through summer, so we still got some time. I can grow a little bit of it back. But make sure to push that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and tell us that you like these videos. That way we can keep bringing new and exciting content for you. But back to the pond. They said that they are going to be done with this thing tomorrow. I don't know if that's actually true. You guys don't even want to know how much rock is here. I mean, that's the original rock from the original pond. And they've been piecing through it and using boulders from that. I can't even call that a boulder. That is a boulder. Those are boulders. Those are like pea gravel compared to these, but I really hope they do get done with it tomorrow. That way we can start filling it. They still have to add in the filter. We're gonna do some landscaping and some plants along the outside. I haven't decided. They're kind of helping us with the dozer here to level up the ground going outside, so we have a nice grade going around, but we'll see what happens. All right, guys, into day 4. Look, there's water in it. And look at that. That is just an absolutely beautiful view. It's not completely done. Sorry, just up in a hole. We have, as you can see here, we're still working on electrical, but by the time this video airs, this will all be done and fixed. The lights, they're in the pond, but they won't be running by the time this video, but we will do a part 2, and that'll show when the pond's all established, and then also when we're introducing koi into here. So that should be about sometime in August, because it's a body of water, so we got to let it cycle. But walking you through, look, I'm strong. No, this is just fake. This is our skimmer here. It's got a catch basket. We got a 4,000 gallon an hour pump in here. Then you see that's actually an overflow drain. So if the pond ever gets too full, it'll due to rain or anything like that, it'll come out the spout. But guys, I can't get over this. I mean, look at that. They got natural driftwood. That is probably an 8-foot piece, just hanging in there. It's not even on the ground. It's just floating midway. But I mean, these guys killed it. Make sure to go check them out. If you ever need a pond, definitely hit them up. But I mean, that's one waterfall, and I could sit there for hours and just look at that. But I'll give you a walkthrough of the whole thing here. Sorry, this is on my phone and not on my camera. But yeah, there's lighting under here, and then it's very shallow right here, but it gets deeper as it goes back, and that sound right there is just beautiful. I mean, look at that. There's also a light down there, and then we come up, and then we have another beautiful waterfall. That's my daughter. This is the waterfall feature up here. It's got filter media in it, but you can see how it angles this way, and then it kind of kicks back over that way. But I mean, standing on top of this thing is just absolutely incredible. If you need a pond, like I said, make sure to check in the description down below. Go hit these guys up. They knocked this pond out of the park. We definitely went from a pond from hell to a pond in heaven. And we're not even done yet. Part 2, you know, we're going to be doing landscaping around it. We still have a magnolia tree. It's the only plant over here right now, but we're going to do lots of aquatic plants. As you can see, the dogs are already enjoying it. But I definitely can't get over how magnificent this pond turned out. I mean, look at that. Could you just sit there and stare at that all night? I definitely could. I love the sound of this. And the fact that they took what concept I wanted and they ran with it. They made it better, and they're definitely pros. This pond ended up being about, this one's actually bigger than the original one. This one's about 42 foot long. It's only about 4 foot wide up here on the top, and then it gets wider coming down. And then from this corner over here to that corner right there, it's 15 foot, like 15 and a half. And then from here over to the skimmer, it's about 10 and a half. And then we're about 4.5 feet deep in the middle part. We will, in this video, we're actually gonna snap to tomorrow here in a second, so you can see the pond all cleared up with aquatic plants and everything in like that in it. All right, guys, this is day 5. You hear splashing around. It's not fish. It's actually my daughter. She likes the fact that the pond's big enough for her to swim in. And Bubba's just watching her. But we didn't get the plumbing today, or the electrical setup today. It's just gonna be done on Monday, but we're gonna air this all on just part 1 of this. Part 2, like I said, we'll have all the landscape. You can see we got a lot of plants that are gonna go around the plant, or around the pond itself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. A big shout out to our friends, and they did an amazing job. So stick around for part 2. And like I said, make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this channel. You could be a fish, or you could be my daughter, be both. But thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And as always, guys, the big question, your tank or mine?